I lived in a house with 4 girls and 4 animals in college. One night I happened to have the house to myself, which was fabulous because I had a paper to write. So I'm in my bed with my laptop and I hear a scratch at the door. It's the dog Miko and he's shaking and whining. As soon as I open the door, the 2 cats, Rolf and Beaner, streak in behind him and jump on my bed. I squeeze in between all of them and I resume my studying. Suddenly, Rolf's hair stands on end and Miko starts to whine. Beaner's claws are digging into my legs as soon as I hear footsteps upstairs in the hallway. It's a pretty short hallway, probably about 20 feet. But the footsteps keep walking and walking past where the outer wall of the house into the next door neighbor's house. Miko starts growling when the footsteps turn around, and I hear them sprinting back in our direction, and then a door slams shut. By this point, my heart is racing and Miko is barking up a storm, so I grab a baseball bat and walk upstairs. Nobody was home, but me and the animals. When I was at college, I was in my bedroom. The building was modern, and so I was more caught off guard. I lived in Lincoln, UK, which is a fairly old historical city. I was lying in bed at night, playing Pokemon. I was hunting for shinies. My friend had caught a shiny sparrow, and I was looking for something to counter it. I eventually came across a shiny Marie. Ignoring my slight excitement chubby, I started battle. It should have been a routine sleep and throw. I know now things are never that simple. My Haunter's hypnosis attack missed, and it countered with something paralyzing. For the next 3 turns, Haunter couldn't move, so I just started lobbing Pokeballs. An Ultra Ball caught it and hit the ground. It started to rock on the floor. In the corner of my eye, I saw a movement. I looked up above my wide DS light, and at the end of my bed was a figure. It was a woman, all in black, just staring. I stared back silently, brain frozen over, much like the path to Snow Point City. Without looking away, I felt for the light switch and hit the light. For some reason, I assumed that this would make her go away, but it didn't. I shouted, jumped out of bed and ran. My housemates were all awake in the living room and they were super concerned. We went back to my room and there was nothing there. I got mocked for the rest of the year. I don't know how to make them believe me. My girlfriend and I moved into an apartment complex. Not too long after we moved in, we got our first dog. All was well for a few weeks. After about a month having the dog, I was walking her outside, and a little kid walks up, around 7 years old. He said his name was Owen, and asked if he can pet the dog. Of course, I didn't think anything of it, and said yes. He then asked if he can hold her. I figured why not. Owen then picked up our dog, squeezed as hard as he could, instantly causing the dog to squeal. I told him that was not okay, and he shouldn't treat animals like that. A couple of days later, while I'm at home, I hear a knock on the door. It's Owen. He asked if the puppy can come out to play. I told him that she is sleeping and he then asked for some candy. I said sure, but made sure if it's okay with his mom before he comes back. This happens 3 or 4 more times over the next few weeks. Around lunchtime one day, Owen shows up. He asked for candy while holding a yellow V4 ball bat. I told him I'm all out of candy and he should go home. Owen then responds, "You best have candy when I come back, or we are going to get you." But he was all alone. I closed the door and moved the candy ball into the next room out of sight. In about 15 minutes, I hear the door open and storm slam shut. Owen, without missing a beat, walks in and took candy, as if he knew where I moved the ball to, says nothing and then leaves. I chase him down and told him not to come back, and I proceed to ask him where he lives. He pointed to his place, and I make a mental note to go down there at later time with my wife. When the missus got home, we both walked down to the apartment I watched Owen enter. But no one was there. It was empty. According to the office, that unit had been empty for some time, and any tenant would only stay for a few months before breaking their contract. Over the next few weeks, the dog and the cat went nuts. The dog would sit and growl at the corner behind the front door. For hours, she would watch the corner. The cat would go crazy if any doors were shut, scratching at them, shoving his face into them trying to open them. About 2 months after the initial Owen sighting, my girlfriend and I were driving home late at night, maybe 11 p.m. or so. We turned the car and there was Owen, on a big wheel. He stares right at us, points at us and follows us with his finger as we round a turn. We've parked the car and he's gone. Since then we have moved to a new location, but for the year we were at the apartment, the dog and cat never stopped hitting doors and corners. We often heard creaking doors and saw reflections in the windows. Ghost Child threatens us with bat for candy and stalks us from the corners behind doors. This is your first time here and you want to watch true ghost encounter stories, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you can be notified when we upload a new video.